Hi, my name is Helen from My Paper Paradise. Today we'll be making this card. The stamp sets we'll be using are Sweet Little Somethings and Charming Cafes. Now, Charming Cafe, I'm just going to be using the stamp here. I thought it looked really cute to frame the little bunny, and this one also has the Happy Easter. So this is the second one I've done as a Happy Easter. It's a beautiful little stamp set. Well, both of them are beautiful little stamp sets. They are in the Occasions catalogue. And I'm not 100% sure on the page because I didn't mark this one down. I do apologise. But as you can see, as I'm quickly flicking through, there's some beautiful little cards and projects. This one is the cafe one. It comes with framelits and a stamp set as well, and you can make some absolutely gorgeous little 3D type cards. And the other one, the little bunny, there is in the main catalogue, the Stampin' Up annual catalogue, there is one and it's a teddy bear and very cute. But when I saw the bunny rabbit, I thought that would be absolutely perfect for me for Easter, but I could see so many other projects being used for it. So it is a 3-step type stamping to build up the look of the bunny rabbit. It is absolutely gorgeous. Anyway, let's get started. So that's in your Occasions catalogue. You can also view it online if you go to my web page, and you can click on the Occasions catalogue and view it from there. So I'll just move these out of our way. Now I am going to use today, it's a brand new product that Stampin' Up have come out with. It's called the Stamping Artist, and it's a brilliant little machine. It means that I can get all my stamps in the place where I want to. It still doesn't mean that you can't use your normal like this, your clear blocks. You can still use those, but I just, for the ease of my life, I do like this Stampin' Artist that they've come out with. Absolutely wrapped with mine. It's only fairly brand new, so I'm still getting used to it and learning the techniques, but so far so good. Been great. Now I've already pre-set up all the stamps to make it quicker and easier, but basically what you do is you put your stamp on top of your paper and so you pop the stamp on your paper, then you'd bring one of the clear flaps over and push it onto the stamp and then pull it up. That's as easy as that. Next one, you'd line up your stamp, pick it up with your cover and pop them over. And the great thing is that you can pull them out and move them around. Anyway, you'll see what I mean once I get started with the project. So the first stamp I'm going to start with is the stamp that doesn't have a lot of image to it. So it's just got a few dots on it. So I'm going to use my dark one, which is the soft suede ink pad. And he's the darkest out of the lot. So I'm just going to push onto there, make sure he's well inked up. Let me put a little piece of white sheeting behind it so you can see it a little bit clearer. So you can see that he hasn't got as much detail to him, but he has got the eyes into him. But the other great thing about the Stampin' Artist is once I've stamped him, and if I'm not happy, I haven't got enough ink onto the paper, I can always re-stamp it. So I can look at it and go, I may have missed a spot. I can re-ink my stamp and pop him back down onto the Stampin' Artist. And I'll know it will go exactly on the same place I had before. So the next one I'm going to use is Sonara Sand. and I'm going to use full strength on this one. Now this has got a little bit more detail on a little bit more of a solid rabbit. So you can't really see too much detail on there. It's very, very faint. But you'll see once I stamp down. I'm just going to push onto him. Now I start with the rabbit first, and then I put the this little detail and flowers around him. I found that was the easiest. I did try it the other way around, but it was sort of a little bit hard to line up the rabbit to fit inside the flowers. And I'll lift up that one. Now I'm just going to see it's got a little bit more detail in the bunny rabbit, but we're not quite there. We've just got the final step. Now I'm just going to pull this plate out and flip it around because it's got the other solid piece of the rabbit in there. So this is the final one, and this is the solid piece. Now I'm stamping it again with the Sonara sand again, but this time I'm going to get a bit of scrap paper and I'm going to just pop it in there, and this is what we call stamping off. So I'm going to stamp onto my scrap paper, pull it off, and then I'm going to pop it onto the image. So I'm going to get a lighter version of what I stamped before. And you'll see the effect when I pull it up. So just make sure that you've pressed in all the places, make sure that you're getting a great image. We've got a pad underneath here, so it's giving me a little bit more support that I can get a good image. Now I sort of feel like I've missed the top of his head there. So again, I'm just going to ink up. I'm going to get my scrap paper, stamp off, and just I'm going to put a little bit more pressure on this side. I probably didn't put enough pressure. A little bit trickier. Normally I'd probably pull this stamp off before stamping. But if I want to do quite a few of these bunny rabbits, quite a few for Easter projects, at least I've got them all lined up and I can just quickly do them. There we are. Looks a lot better. So I'll take them out, and I'm just going to flip my white card because I want a happy Easter. So I'm just going to pop these magnetic. These hold my papers into place. And they're very strong, so you don't want to get the magnets close together because they will stick, and it sounds like quite a few people have had a hard time separating them. I know when I've put them close together, they do attract each other very quickly. Now I'm going to use Berry Burst for the greeting, for the Happy Easter. So just stamp the Happy Easter. Now I can use a baby wipe just to wipe some of that extra ink away, but I won't worry about it too much because it's not going to hit the paper. So just push down on that. I'm perfect, very happy with that. So I'll put the Stamparatus away. Now just making sure I don't try and close both sheets together. I will have to pull one of them out and just lie it on top. So I'll just put him aside for a moment. Now I'm just going to do the little frame around the bunny. Now how I've done it is I've given it a little bit more room at the top than at the bottom. So the flowers are just above his head, whereas I haven't minded too much that the flowers are touching his feet. Just going to stamp using basic black, stamping, make sure I've got plenty of ink on there. If you're ever unsure, just get your scrap piece of paper out and just stamp. Some people find that it's best to sort of stamp on your scrap piece of paper before stamping on your true image. Now I've just got to probably be a little bit careful because I've smudged that area there. Probably got a bit too much ink on the ink pad, on the stamp, sorry. So I'll get that, and I'll just make sure I'm a little bit more careful with this one. And I'm just going to line him up. I hope I haven't got my head stuck in the middle of the camera. And just making sure his paws are well inside. It is a little bit of a tight fit, but I just love the concept and the image. And being Easter, unfortunately down in Australia, where I am, in Melbourne, we're coming into our autumn time. But it's supposed to be, Easter is supposed to be spring and new life. So my next step will be to do the blending. But before I do any of the colouring in or using I'm just going to cut these out. Now another thing is with the Happy Easter, I'm just using a little template. Now I will cut it down. It just makes it a little bit easier rather than me trying to guillotine it or anything like that. So I'm just going to bring in my big shot. Now the little template actually comes from Petals, Palettes and Petals, stamp set and framelits. But you could use anything that's in your set. Quite a few of the framelits do come with their own little label framelit. So I'm just going to line this up. Now I've got my magnetic board and my acrylic sheet underneath. Now I'll pop my paper on top and then I'm putting my framelit on top of that. I'm just lining it up, making sure that I've got it fairly even on both sides. I'll just line up my Happy Easter. Doesn't matter if it's exactly in the middle, just as long as it's in the middle for the top and the bottom. Like I said, I'm going to be cutting the edges away and cutting it quite close to the Happy Easter. I'm going to do one more final check. Yes, I'm very happy. Just roll it through. When you hear the clinking and clunking, that's always a good sign. So don't panic. The only time you need to panic is if it's very difficult to roll through. It means that you've either got the wrong plates on or and made it too thick. So never force it through. It will go through, but the clinking and clunking is always a good sign. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to start colouring in and using the finer tip end, and I'm using my stamping blenders here, and this is the dark old olive. It does come in two kinds. One's a light one and one's a dark one. And there's quite a range of different colours. I'm also going to use the cherry cobbler, the light and the dark one. I may use if I was doing this off camera, I'd probably also do a bit of blending with both the olives, but because I'm on camera, I'll only use the one. They're only small little leaves, so you probably don't notice too much the difference in colour. If I was maybe doing a bigger project, you might notice the different colours. So just colouring in all the leaves. Again, don't be too fussy. If you go slightly over the edges, it just all sort of blends in well. I find that's quite relaxing, just sitting, doing a bit of colouring in. And Stampin' Up have got quite a few projects where you can just sit there and colour, and they've got pencils and these pens as well, which are fairly new. They're also in the Occasions catalogue, and you can order those. And just quickly go through all these. Also make beautiful little labels. If you were doing a pack of Easter eggs, say, you could probably just stamp this image and stick it on the bag or the box of chocolates that you're giving the person, just to decorate the box. Oh, the beautiful little label. But I could see even baby cards being made out of this beautiful bunny. Now what I'm going to do is I'm using the dark one, and I'm just going to use the finer end. Now with the dark one, I'm just doing these little inlets on the flower, just to give it a little bit of dimension. And then I'll come across with the lighter one and finish it off. I think the more I've done this project, the better I'm getting at where the flowers have fallen. So I should check which end I want to open first. I always seem to open the paint one, but because these are so fine, we need to use the finer tip point. So we're almost finished here. Just the bottom ones to do. Probably going over the edges here a little bit, but that's all right. Once it sort of dries, it sort of blends. You don't notice it too much. So like I said with this one, I'm just going to get my snips and just cut away. So I'm very close to the Happy Easter. I didn't want to detract away from the beautiful papers and the actual image of the bunny. Now to put it all together, I'm going to get, this is the Berry Burst, and this is the Paint with Love specialty papers. That one is in the Occasions catalogue, and I'll just show you some of the papers that come into that pack. Just some amazing papers. So there's the striped one. So it has this sort of gold glimmer in it, and on the reverse is more a plainer kind of card or paper, and it's just so beautiful, just very artistic. You can see I used some of this for a Valentine's card, and I've used this one as some birthday cards. But just beautiful splodges and dots, very versatile, very easy to use on all sorts of different projects. And you get 2 of each of the colours. So great background type papers. I can see I'd be using a lot of those. So before the catalogue goes out of style, I'll grab another pack of those, I think, and use them in some of my classes. So I'm going to get these 2 pieces, and I'm going to sort of off-centre them or across make them look like a bit of a cross. So I'm going to get my fast fuse and just get them going again. And just pop them onto the card. Like so. Now I've used a powder pink card stock, and this is 210 by 148 millimeters, and I've scored it in the middle using the Simply scoring tool, which is just here. And what I've done is I've scored it at the 105, which is the middle of the card weight. So place the card on there and just scored down that line there to give me my score mark. I'm just going to add some fast fuse on the back of the berry burst. Just add a little bit over there, just missed that spot. I'm going to put it on an angle again once I put it on my powder pink card. Press firmly, pop that on. I'm going to use dimensionals on the back of my bunny. Use the normal size ones. So I'm just going to pop there, one there, and just two at the side. Take back off. And we're going to stick it onto the front of the card. Yeah, it's so gorgeous. Just love them to pieces. There we are. And just a final bit, the Happy Easter. Just putting some slightly smaller dimensionals on there. Just need a couple there, and we'll pop them just at the bottom on the left hand side there. Looks cute. Now you could add a ribbon around the bunny's neck if you wanted to. I thought he looked quite cute just as he was. There's the project we started with, and that's the one we've just done. I'll just get rid of these dimensional, they stick everywhere unfortunately. Thank you for watching. Please leave me a comment or any information that you would like below, and bye for now.